Hi everyone, welcome to Studio Chiibu and thanks for joining me today. For my very first YouTube video, I decided to create 4 ACEO cards. And honestly, before this project, I didn't really know much about ACEOs at all. I first heard about them through a comment in a Facebook group called Safe Space for Artists. Someone described them as being similar to artist trading cards. But what really stuck with me was the idea that you're not tied down to one style or even one medium. You can just really explore whatever inspires you in that moment. ACEO stands for Art, Cards, Editions, and Originals. They're tiny artworks that measure about 2.5 by 3.5 inches. The idea comes from artist trading cards, which started around the late 90s, where artists would make small pieces and trade them with each other, creating that artist-to-artist connection. Later on, in the early 2000s, artists began making ACEOs as collectible mini artworks that could also be sold online, mostly through eBay. So it expanded the art community and became more inclusive of patrons who wanted art at a more affordable price. And I love that it's starting to become so popular again, because really we can see so many different kinds of art. And it's just fantastic to see everyone be excited about being creative or creating art in their own way. And really, that's what ultimately inspired me. Working small makes experimentation feel a lot less intimidating. It reminded me that art doesn't always have to be this huge, rigid project, and sometimes just sitting down and making something small can be enough to get that creative energy flowing again. So in this video, I'm actually trying watercolors after almost 2 years, which felt a little nerve-wracking at first. I'm using Winsor & Newton's Cotman half-pan set on 140-pound Strathmore paper, just to get that rigidity for the cards, since they'll eventually go into protective sleeves. And honestly, coming back into watercolor after a while felt like I was reconnecting with that frenemy. It was very unpredictable, but that's also what's very fun about it. Watercolor has such a mind of its own, and it's also one of the most beautiful mediums to work with. After putting down the watercolor base, I layered it over with some Arrtx acrylic markers, which I discovered only about late last year. I've really been experimenting with it, and I've enjoyed it a lot. It's really, really fun to have a medium that you can just tuck away and it's not that messy at all. But they're great for adding brighter highlights and sharper details over the softer paint. At this point, I was just letting myself play a bit, which honestly is one of my favorite parts of the process. But sometimes some pieces can get overworked and you gotta learn when to stop. I did not. I just kept going with it. Starting this channel is something I've wanted to do for quite a while now. For me, Studio Chiibu is really about staying accountable to my growth as an artist. I want it to be a place where I can experiment, try new mediums, and slowly get better with every piece I make. But more than that, I'd love for this to be a little creative space where people can come, relax, and make some art, and maybe even work alongside me while I'm creating. You'll probably see a mix of things here. Sometimes traditional pieces like these ACEO cards, sometimes fan art inspired by shows, animes, or movies that I love, and occasionally some digital chibi illustrations too. More than anything, I want this channel to be about exploring creativity and enjoying the process of making art. And if you've made it this far into my very first video, thank you so much for being here and spending a little creative time with me in the studio. All of these ACEOs are now available on eBay through the links below. Thank you so very much again for joining me here at Studio Chiibu. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, bye bye for now.